Hello and welcome back to Live from Paris. Owen's here with the business news. And Owen, we're less than an hour now away from the beginning of the inauguration of François Hollande. We've been talking about it a lot. But you've got some data that it might not quite rain on his parade, but it's not very good at getting the party started.
I wouldn't say so, Lorna, but it depends how you look at it right now, because growth around Europe is stagnating so badly that anything that isn't quite a negative or contraction, if you like, of the economy will probably be seen as a victory, including from those incoming new residents of the Élysée Palace. That's because French GDP, the latest figures are out. The French economy didn't grow at all in the first quarter. GDP flatlining at 0%. But as I say, there will be audible sighs of relief, I should imagine, in the Élysée Palace, because it means that France has, technically at least, avoided a recession. That's 2 successive periods of negative growth. Perhaps the biggest growth story of the day is Germany, 0.5% growth in the first quarter. When you think that the predictions were only 0.1%, you can see that the Germans have actually managed to skip a beat there and get ahead of the game a little bit. But as I say, it's hardly anything to sing about right now, and it tells you how desperate things are if the only thing we can celebrate in the Eurozone is Germany growing by 0.5% right now.
And France not growing at all, of course. Absolutely. Giving that big contrast between France and Germany, as François Hollande is all set to meet Angela Merkel for that big meeting tonight. What are the markets making of things meanwhile?
A pretty good bounce, actually, Lorna, certainly on the European markets, as you can imagine, with all this Eurozone woe right now. Those GDP figures have been well received. The European markets opening a little bit in the green. The CAC 40 here in Paris up around 0.75%. Proof, perhaps, that if you roll out the red carpet and give the presidential car a coat of polish, investors do feel a little bit better. The Asian markets, the Nikkei ending the day around 0.8% down there. Just worth noting, foreign direct investment in China down nearly 1% in April. Again, proof that investors are getting just a little bit concerned about the slowdown in the growth of what is now the world's second biggest economy.
Okay, well, we've also got a few earnings out today, and Groupon has finally managed to make a profit. Yeah,
this is a company that's caught everyone's eye, particularly with the run-up to the Facebook flotations. Well, a lot of naysayers compare Facebook to Groupon and say it could well be a very unspectacular flotation. This company hasn't managed to make any money until now in its first quarter, turning a little profit, around $16 million. That was compared to a loss of around $120 million for the previous quarter, so a pretty good turnaround. Allianz as well, the German insurer, showing that many European insurers are managing to leave the Japanese earthquake behind them with all the payouts they suffered there, turning a 60% rise in profits for the first quarter.
Okay, well, that uncertainty here in Europe has, of course, been partly driven by mixed messages from Europe's leaders about Greece. The union's lead finance minister used unusually strong language to dismiss any suggestion of a Greek exit from the single currency and perhaps from Europe altogether. But that view contrasts with top European Central Bank officials who are now working out how Greece might leave. Shelley Sitbon has more.
There are no plans for a Greek exit from the euro. That's according to Eurogroup President Jean-Claude Juncker.
I don't envisage, not even for 1 second, Greece leaving the euro area. This is nonsense. This is propaganda, and we have to respect the Greek democracy.
Yet European leaders are clearly getting nervous. Once taboo, a Greek exit from the euro is now openly discussed at the European Central Bank. One of its governors told the Financial Times over the weekend that such a divorce is possible. For now, EU leaders are waiting to see the next Greek government and if it sticks to austerity.
We have an agreement with the Hellenic Republic, not with one political party, and therefore I'm confident that also the next government will fully comply with this. Otherwise, of course, we could not give further financial assistance, but we are not there.
Greece is dependent on its international lenders, the EU, the IMF and the European Central Bank, to pay its bills. Current calculations say it could run out of money as early as next month if it doesn't receive more funds. In order to keep getting money, Greece has to follow its lenders' bailout plan. But the man who holds the key to the creation of the new government is radical left leader Alexis Tsipras, whose party received 16.67% of the vote, and he is against austerity. The Greek crisis has hit markets across Europe and at home, with shares closing down, while the euro has hit a 4-year low.
Let's stay with the Eurozone now as we pick up on just one or two more of the day's business headlines for you, starting with Moody's, which has downgraded 26 Italian banks, including the country's largest UniCredit, amid concern for the country's sovereign debt crisis. Moody's saying it noted adverse operating conditions which are likely to cause further asset quality deterioration, earnings pressure and restricted market funding access.
Okay, French cosmetics group Coty has abandoned its $11 billion takeover bid for Avon. Coty said Avon, which is the world's largest door-to-door cosmetics seller, had missed a deadline to begin talks. Coty, whose brands include Rimmel and the fragrance Calvin Klein, had revised its bid with financial backing from Warren Buffett.
Now, we're not quite there yet here on France 24. We haven't quite got the corporate jet, have we, Lorna? But I think it's only a matter of time before...
Of course. And the business editor will be first in line.
I think that's a great recommendation. It's a market that tends to rise with economies. When things are looking good, then corporate jet sales tend to look good. But many manufacturers are now trying to beat that trend by expanding to emerging markets, particularly China, where the taste for the high life and corporate jet travel is really starting to take off, no pun intended. And that's giving European manufacturers like Dassault the chance to cash in at the latest trade show in Geneva. Our correspondent found a great appetite for corporate jet travel.
The flight from Paris was in a Falcon 7X made by Dassault. It can fly to Tokyo or Los Angeles without refueling. We get to Geneva in 44 minutes. All the main manufacturers are here at the European Business Aviation Convention, though their thoughts are elsewhere.
China is the new frontier for the private jet sector generally, and for Dassault in particular. It became our #1 market last year. We are currently developing our presence significantly in Beijing. That's so we can work for the future in what should be a major market for us in the years to come.
Dassault for the moment has no plans to manufacture in China. The Chinese are known for copying technology. The Brazilian firm Embraer believes China is aiming to carve out some of the business for itself.
I wouldn't say copying. I think China wants to develop its own aircraft over a period of time. We've delivered more than 120 jets into China since we started business there 12 years ago. So the relationship has been a very good one.
The Brazilian manufacturer is selling this jet at $30 million. It's using Jackie Chan as part of its sales pitch. Also in the corporate jet market, Airbus. The price, around $80 million for a converted passenger plane.
We put a karaoke machine on the first plane we sold to China. We can also install a round banqueting table, the kind Chinese like. A round table for 6 becomes a square table to play mahjong, which they like to play a lot.
China's latest 5-year plan says it'll be the #1 market for private jets.
Well, that's just about it from us for now. Thanks very much indeed, Owen, for that business news. And we'll leave you with some live images from the Élysée Palace here in Paris, where the inauguration ceremony for François Hollande will be getting underway very shortly at 10 a.m. Paris time. Don't miss our special programme coming up, starting at 9:50 a.m. Paris time. That's it from us for now, though. Stuart North will be here after the weather with more.